What's up, everyone? Aaron Negler here with Cheesehead TV, coming to you live from the LiveX studios in Manhattan. The Packers are back on the practice field, or they were earlier today. Sans Davante Adams. Adams still sitting out with that toe injury, and Aaron Rodgers appearing as one of many names on a very lengthy injury report that was released a little bit ago by the team. Rodgers apparently dealing with a knee injury. Very adept work by the Packers, releasing the injury report after Aaron Rodgers' media availability, so he doesn't have to talk about it. Well played indeed. As far as Davante Adams goes, I'll be very, very surprised if he goes on Monday. Listening to the quotes and the video coming out of the locker room, he sure doesn't sound like a guy who's expecting to play. We'll see. Still some time to go. A couple more practices. I'm sure they'll say they're going to take it right up until Monday night. But again, I'll be very surprised if Adams is a go. Hello to everybody in the chat here. Jade, Jesse, hello. William, it is Lions Week, no doubt. Dylan, thanks for jumping on. Tyler, what's up? How you doing? What's up, Goat? How are you? Kevin King was doubtful until last Friday, though. He was indeed, but that was an entirely different injury. And he was back at practice today, so that's good. He's dealing with a couple of different injuries. Are the Packers' injury reports longer or more transparent than other teams, or does it just seem that way? Tyler, I tend to think they're a bit more transparent than other teams, and that's why they are so much longer than most other teams. Is the injury to Davante worse than they're letting on about? I don't think so. I mean, what have they said that has led on at all about the severity of the injury? I mean, they're not required to talk about it other than put it on the injury report, which they have. It's a toe, it's turf toe, and Davante talked about it quite extensively at his locker today. So I don't think anybody was under any illusions that he was going to miss some time. Turf toe is very, very serious. It can linger for a very long time. Adams talked about wanting to get right before he gets back on the field. And right now, it just don't feel right. So like I said, I fully expect him not to play on Monday, but maybe, hopefully, we get some surprising good news in that regard. No Name, thanks so much for the super chat. I love your response to my tweet about the OBJ trade. Well, I know that was all the rage on Twitter today about possibly the Browns listening to offers for a trade. That's bugging me. Sorry, guys. But I don't see that happening at all. MVS should be good to go, right? Yeah, buddy, I think so. Sean, thank you for the super chat, and thank you for the lovely sentiments. Very, very nice of you. What are my thoughts on trading for a wide receiver? If they can get one cheap, not a significant investment as far as draft capital goes, possibly. I know I've heard the name Corey Davis floated. I think for a day 3 pick, that makes sense for the Packers, but I don't see why the Titans would trade him. I think they're good with what they got, and I know that's a very minority opinion, but I talked about it a bit on Transplants last night. You should check that out. And I put up a clip regarding personnel versus plan on Twitter. You should definitely check that out as well. Sorry, guys. Phone blowing up. Go Pack Go. Bears still suck. Aaron, it's like a perfect comment. Well done. Katie, I feel like they were sneaky with the injury report coming out after interviews. Oh, 100%. I wouldn't call it sneaky. I call it good PR. That's their job. Do you like the idea of bringing Mike Pennell back? I'd be surprised if they went that route. Yeah, no, I don't see that happening. Do you think TJ Hawkinson will give us issues? He could. Very talented young guy. I know he's been practicing. He had been injured. They had the bye week. That certainly seems to have helped him get back on the practice field. They're going to have a plan for him. He is a dynamic presence, and he seems to have hit the ground running in the NFL. There's no question there. Packers have TJ Lang in town to lift the curse. I know TJ did say he's coming back for a game. I don't know if he's coming back for this one, though. But that would be great if he was there. Although, come on now. He was playing for the Lions the last 4 games when the Lions were winning. I don't know, man. I don't know what side of the juju that falls on. We were able to stop the run on Sunday, or did Dallas just give up on running? I don't know. I'd call it give up, but the score pretty much dictated that. I think Dallas early on showed they could run on the Packers, but once you get down 24-0, that's kind of out of the, got to change the plan at that point. So I still am very concerned about the run defense. We'll say that. No Name, thanks for the super chat. 37.7% of the roster is on their injury report. Well, yeah, it's pretty lengthy. I think there's like 20 dudes on there. No Darnell Savage this week. Well, that's not official yet, Saul. He did not participate in practice today, though. Certainly doesn't bode well. We'll see what they do there. MVS is due for a big game. Dan, Corey, and I totally agree. We talked about that on Transplants last night. Is this the week MVS breaks out? Seems so close. Kevin, I agree. I would be nice if Aaron finally hits him in stride one of these deep balls, when he's got steps on guys. We'll see. Any plans to bring TJ Lang on the show? Kent, he is going to be on my podcast, hopefully this week, maybe next. But he and I have been playing kind of message tag. But he is going to come on, not on the show, but he'll be on the podcast. Pack is trying to save as much cap as possible for prospecting next season. It's possible. What is more likely to happen first? Packcast and Cheesehead TV getting credentials from the Packers or living long enough to get Packers season tickets? Tom, let me tell you, Grossi Posse, Packer Nation, and thank you for joining us. It's always nice to see a star, a Packers media luminary joining us here on Extra Cheese. My sister is on the season waiting list, ticket waiting list, and she went from somewhere hovering around 55,000 when she started, and she is down to 11,000. So I think Ann, my sister, Ann Nagler, is going to be on there before any of that happens. But I certainly don't expect to get credentials for Cheesehead TV. I don't know what you're talking about, though, big time, because you've had Mark Murphy on your show not once, but twice. I can't get Mark Murphy to return my calls. So, if anyone's going to be talking about credentials, it's you, sir. You are living the dream over there. Brian Gutekunst has really improved the bottom of the roster. Peter, that is a very astute point, something that does not get talked about a whole lot. Obviously, a lot of the hay, so to speak, in the media is being made by the frontline additions, the big signings and free agency, etc. But the job he has done as far as improving the bottom of the roster, bringing the talent level up, improving the depth for guy 50, 51, 52, 53, it's noticed. It's notable. It's apparent, and I'm very interested to see how he does as far as the remainder of the year and continuing to churn the bottom of the roster. Obviously, that's something Ted did a little bit of, but Ron Wolf was the crazy man in that regard back in the day, and it seems the Gutekunst is kind of trending that way. So, but I very much agree with your assertion there. 40-yard dash, Aaron Rodgers versus Jimmy Graham. What are they using, a sundial, James? Thank you for the super chat. Which knee is injured on 12? Same as last year, Mike. We don't know. They are not required to list the knee. I'm sure, I have no doubt, Matt LaFleur will be asked about it tomorrow, and he will not tell us. But we'll see. Is Josh Jackson now a safety? I'd call him a hybrid. They're going to use him where they need him, pretty much. But you have seen him playing safety. There's no question there. When it comes to turf toe, Adams is no Sterling Sharp. Well, he's making a lot more money. He's got a lot more concerns long term. Is it probable Sternberger is being developed on IR, or is he a rookie next year? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that question. He's on IR, so he's not practicing. Keith P., thanks for the super chat. Go Pack Go from northern Minnesota. What's up from New York? How you doing? Thanks to Cheesehead TV and Packcast for recommending this awesome book I now have. There you go. You got the People's Team. We had Mark Beach, author, on our show yesterday. Make sure you check that out on Packer Transplants, but definitely make sure you get the book. It's outstanding. Who do you think is the best candidate to come back from IR? Well, it's not IR. It's PUP for me. It's Ibrahim Campbell. I think he will make probably the biggest difference. As far as coming back from IR, I mean, Sternberger is a possibility, but yeah, I do think they'll probably redshirt him this year, so to speak. Yeah, I don't know. I would have said EQ, but he can't come back. Just sad. Aaron, with Goody's new, more aggressive approach as GM, could you see a trade deadline deal for another wide receiver, running back, or defensive piece? Yeah, I can't rule it out. I still would be surprised if he made a move at the trade deadline, but like I said, I would not rule it out, and you could definitely see. I wouldn't be surprised if they're making calls as we speak. Maybe not at this very moment, but making calls leading up to the deadline. Maybe they pull the trigger on something. When will Grossi get crushed in Madden again? Soon enough. Soon enough. Who do you think the Packers will face if they go to the Super Bowl? Well, my preseason pick was the Chargers, which isn't looking great. But yeah, I'll stick with the Chargers. They're still in it, right? Yeah, they're really banged up, though. What is your all-time favorite beer to drink during Packer games? The cold ones. Zadarius Smith injury status seems he keeps getting banged up. Yeah, Jade, I think a little gamesmanship is going on there in that game on Sunday. Hair all over the place. He seems fine. He was a limited participant in practice today. But we'll see as the week goes on if he improves his designations. Do you think Aaron Jones will stay long-term with the Packers? I hope so, Peter. I doubt they pay him big money, but maybe they get something done sooner rather than later. Heading into this offseason, well, we'll see. Next, were you ever a wrestling fan? I was not. I get why people like it. More power to you, but it was never my thing. John Kimball Scott. You mean JK-47? A weapon. If and when Ibrahim Campbell comes back from injury, do you think he will be a direct replacement and start over Raven Green? Well, Green would probably be a candidate that we were talking about before for coming back from IR, dependent on the severity of the injury. I think that's the kind of role they would use him in. As to whether it be an exact, that's exactly how they use him. That's for Mike Pettin to say. I think it would vary week to week and opponent to opponent, but for the most part, yeah, that's the type of role he would fill, no doubt. Is Gary earning more reps with his play and Z getting banged up on top of it? Kevin, I would love to see him out there more. I loved Mike Smith, the outside linebackers coach, talking about how it was time for him to stop thinking and go let it rip. Maybe we get to see him unleashed a little bit this week. That'd be nice. Do you think Detroit comes out of the bye blitzing or playing coverage? Most likely playing coverage. If they have trouble getting to Aaron, maybe they start dialing it up a bit, but they'll play a mix. Obviously, it always is, but predominantly, I think they'd go coverage. Do you think Gary has a really high ceiling? Yeah, I do. I think he could be an outstanding player. I think he could be Muhammad Wilkerson-esque when Muhammad Wilkerson was amazing. I've got $100 on Grossi and Madden. He's got that chip on his shoulder. Outstanding. Same offensive game plan versus Detroit? I wouldn't think so. It's hard to say because with the Cowboys, you really know what they're going to run. They run, some kind of variation on Marinelli's scheme. Is very, I won't say vanilla, but it's very sound, and they don't have a ton of calls. With Detroit, Aaron Rodgers was just talking about this at his locker. They're very much in the Bill Belichick mold where they, are very different week to week, dependent on who they're facing. So when it comes to the Packers game planning, that's going to be Matt LaFleur's bread and butter this week, as far as trying to anticipate how they're going to play him and trying to take advantage. My hunch is clearly they're going to be ready for Aaron Jones. I think their entire game plan, and talking about Detroit, will be about limiting his effectiveness. And now LaFleur has got to be able to, and LaFleur admitted this on his the Total Packers show on Packers.com. They basically said, the week before against the Eagles, it was, okay, we are going to make Davante go. Well, this week it was, we are going to make Aaron Jones go. Against Detroit, it'll be interesting to see who the chosen one is, so to speak. Or if there is one, maybe it's Aaron Rodgers' turn to just spread the ball around and throw for 300-plus yards and a couple touchdowns. We'll see. Jay Sternberger will come back and be a weapon late in the year. Plenty of useful... he's an offensive talent. Ben, I agree. He's got a ton of talent and a ton of upside, but it's hard to make a dent as a rookie at the tight end position. I know Detroit obviously has a rookie playing well, but for the most part, that position is really tough to make that jump from, college to the pros. Year one is often a learning time. I think there's a possibility he could come back and contribute. I'd be surprised if he was a big part of the offense or a huge weapon. But that said, I do think he can be useful and helpful, definitely. Let's see. Do you think Green Bay pursues another wide receiver if the receivers struggle to be productive against Detroit? No, because I don't think they struggled to be productive against the Cowboys. That was just part of the plan as far as spreading the ball around and getting the ball to Aaron Jones. I mean, the receivers I think the running backs out of the backfield, I believe, had 12 catches. I mean, those are taking the place of targets and receptions for the wide receivers. Now, maybe this plan is different this week, and they throw it almost exclusively to wide receivers, and thereby making them more productive. But I don't think the Packers view the lack of production from the receivers as them struggling. I think it's just a part of the plan and the output that it's a byproduct of the plan they had coming into the game. Again, don't forget, if Shepard isn't, held in the end zone, he probably has a touchdown. MVS probably has a touchdown if Aaron Rodgers doesn't underthrow him. And Kumaro probably has a touchdown if he doesn't slip when he's making a break through the end zone. Those are 3 plays right there where that's 3 receptions for touchdowns where people are going, oh, look, the receivers had a great game. They had pretty much the same game. They just didn't get in the end zone because of various factors. So I don't think they view the receivers as struggling. Let's see. I kind of love the shot of AR telling Matt LaFleur, we're good on the sideline, comforting him. Yeah, that was great. And Rodgers talked about it a bit at his locker a little bit ago. Nag, seriously, when is Cheesehead TV going to get credentialed? We need the voice of the people in those pressers. Well, I'll be in next after the game's Monday. I'll be in the Tuesday press conference because I'll be staying in Wisconsin for the week. But look, I mean, when it comes to the credential thing, I'm in through iHeartMedia because of the radio show. That's all. So I'm in, and they can try and keep me out, but they can't. As far as Cheesehead TV, it's never going to happen. The Packers have made that abundantly clear. And like I did this year, I'll just find ways around it. Brian, thank you for the super chat. Who wins, JK-47 or Danny Vitale's arms? Whoo, that is a tough question. But give me Danny Vitale's arms. I think he just cracked the leg, and that'd be the end of that. Is Daniel still listed as out? Oh, I don't think they haven't listed anybody yet for the game, but I know he hasn't been practicing this week. I didn't say he did not practice yesterday. I don't know about today, though. I haven't looked at Detroit's injury report yet. Nags has hacked the system. Yeah, that is what I've done. I absolutely loved what I saw from the tight ends last week. Neil, I agree. They did a great job as far as delineating how they wanted to utilize those guys and going with that plan and making it work. And Aaron Rodgers talked about how refreshing it's been from the head coach and his staff, really talking to guys each and every week about how they're going to be utilized that week, and guys buying into that. Whether it's Mercedes Lewis and how he's been used, whether it's how they've utilized Jimmy Graham, etc. They've really sat down and said, okay, this is how we're going to divvy up your snaps, and here's what we want you to accomplish this week. And for the most part, that's what's happened. That's pretty damn impressive. Oh, Seth, thank you so much for the kind words. That's very nice of you. Let's see. Got that one. Oh, no name. Thanks so much for the super chat. And Ben, thank you for the super chat. Let's get Fackrell going with Gary and the Smiths. I'm with you, but it's hard, man. Thanks for all you guys do. Green, thank you for the super chat. So many super chats. How did I miss all these? Sorry, guys. So many. I've got 353 people chatting at me. Tom Grossi throwing down super chat money. What is going on? Give this beautiful man your likes, your subs, and your love. I mean, I am just a man with a passion for the Green Bay Packers, much like all of you. I mean, 350 of you are sitting here on a Thursday afternoon listening to me pontificate about nonsense. It really means a lot. And it means a lot to have Tom Grossi here, star of YouTube and Packers blogosphere. The man, if you don't sub to Tom Grossi, you got to do it. Your Packers media consumption is not complete without PackCast. Went to the Packers-Eagles game all the way from Bermuda. Thanks for all your advice. It was great. Kroll's and Stadium View were amazing. Go Pack Go. Fantastic. Thanks for checking that stuff out, and thanks for being on the chat. And sorry the Packers couldn't pull it out there at the end, but I'm sure that was a great game. It was a great night, and that crowd was awesome, and you were part of it. So well done. I'm just here for the signature Nagler no. Well, I haven't gotten any no questions yet. Our schedule is tough because the NFC North is the best division this year. That's something Corey brought up on Transplants last night. And, I mean, that's why Monday night is such a golden opportunity to take control of the division, to get a win out of each division game early in the season, be in the driver's seat, heading into the second half of the year. That'd be huge. Matt, thanks so much for the super chat. Aaron, keep it up, man. We love you. That's so nice of you. And like I said, it really means a lot that you guys choose to spend your time with us here at Cheesehead TV. I know there is a ton of content out there, and that you choose to give us even a little bit of your attention, a little bit of the oxygen you utilize when you're living and breathing and eating and sleeping Green Bay Packers. We can't thank you guys enough. Speaking of which, please, if you do like what we do, consider giving us $5 a month on Patreon. It supports not just these chats, but everything on the website, everything we do with transplants, all the watch parties, um, everything with Cheesehead TV. And please, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. But just do me a favor and subscribe to our channel, like the video, and tell your friends. I was out last night. I know, shocker. I was at a bar, and I was talking to the bartender, and she said her brother-in-law is a huge Packers fan, obsessed Packers fan. And I said, "Oh, well, I happen to run, a website, and I'm on a YouTube channel, blah blah blah." "Oh, what is it?" "I'm sure he knows it." Well, it's Cheesehead TV, and she texted her brother-in-law, and he'd never heard of it. So I know sometimes it might feel like, oh, everyone knows Cheesehead TV, but there are plenty of people who don't know about it. So tell your friends, tell your family, Cheesehead TV, subscribe to the channel, preach the word. We are always and forever devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. I'm going to jump, everybody. Thanks so much. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.